In a small village long ago, a child was born under a lucky star.
The village midwife rushed to the king with news of a prophecy she had seen in the stars.
This baby boy, though born to poor parents, was marked by fate for greatness.
By the way, medieval castles often took over 50 years to build and housed hundreds of people, including soldiers, servants, and nobles.
A peasant child will marry my daughter? Never! I will stop this prophecy.
The king's messenger rode through the forest, carrying the terrible letter, unaware his journey would take an unexpected turn. The travelers opened the satchel and read the king's cruel command with horror. With kind hearts, they rewrote the letter, changing the cruel order to one of kindness and welcome. The baby was taken to the village miller and his wife, who raised him as their own son, naming him Lucky. The miller and his wife loved Lucky dearly, teaching him kindness and hard work as he grew.
Years passed, and Lucky grew into a kind and strong young man, beloved by everyone who knew him.
Though Lucky lived simply, he dreamed of adventure and discovering his true purpose in life.
Everyone in the village loved Lucky for his gentle nature and helping hands.
One day, while walking in the forest, Lucky discovered a hidden clearing that seemed touched by magic.
Strange symbols glowed on an ancient tree, and when Lucky touched them, he felt destiny calling.
Life often presents us with choices, and Lucky knew his next decision would change everything. And so Lucky set out on a journey, not knowing that fate was guiding his steps toward the castle and his true destiny. At the river crossing, Lucky met an old ferryman who seemed trapped by some mysterious curse. The ferryman had been rowing people across the river for 30 years, unable to leave his post due to a strange enchantment.
Young man, please help me. If you discover how to break free from an endless task, tell me the secret when you return.
Lucky promised to help the ferryman and continued his journey, not knowing this was the first of 3 mysteries he would need to solve. In the next town, Lucky found people gathered around their once beautiful fountain that had mysteriously stopped flowing properly. The fountain had brought prosperity to the town for generations, but now it barely trickled, and no one knew why.
Traveler, if you meet anyone wise who knows about enchanted fountains, please ask them how we can restore our water's flow.
Lucky promised to seek answers and continued toward the great castle, carrying the hopes of everyone he met.
At a wealthy estate, Lucky discovered an orchard that had once produced golden apples but now bore nothing but withered leaves.
The golden apples had been famous throughout the kingdom, said to grant long life, but the trees had been dying for 7 years.
If you discover why our trees no longer bear fruit, please return and tell us. I will reward you handsomely.
Finally, after many days of travel, Lucky arrived at the king's castle, where his fate awaited. Lucky had never seen such magnificence, and he marveled at the castle's splendor as guards led him to the throne room. The king and queen received Lucky, not knowing this simple miller's son was the very child the king had tried to destroy years before.
Something about the young man troubled the king, a nagging feeling he could not quite place.
In another part of the castle, Princess Elena sensed that someone important had arrived, though she did not yet know why her heart stirred.
Princess Elena was known throughout the land for her kindness and beauty, beloved by all who knew her.
This boy must be tested. I will send him on an impossible quest to the devil's realm. He will never return.
Once again, the king wrote a letter of evil intent, but fate would twist his plans in unexpected ways.
You must travel to hell itself and bring me 3 golden hairs from the devil's head. Only then may you remain in my castle.
Though the quest seemed impossible, Lucky accepted, for he had learned that destiny often leads us through darkness to reach the light.
As Lucky departed on his impossible quest, Princess Elena watched from her window, her heart inexplicably drawn to the brave young man.
Sometimes we recognize our destiny before we understand it, and Elena knew this stranger was important to her fate.
Lucky's journey to the Devil's Realm would take him through the darkest forests, where few mortals dared to tread.
Armed with only a lantern and his courage, Lucky stepped into the darkness, descending toward the Devil's domain. The path to hell winds through deep caves where strange creatures dwell.
The gates of hell opened before Lucky, and he steeled himself for what lay beyond.
Hell was a realm of fire and darkness, where the devil ruled over countless demons and torturers.
Deeper and deeper Lucky descended, knowing he must find the devil himself to complete his quest.
But then Lucky discovered something unexpected in Helha, a small cottage that seemed strangely out of place.
There lived the devil's grandmother, an ancient being who possessed wisdom from countless centuries and a surprisingly kind heart.
Though she lived in hell and was related to the devil himself, the grandmother remembered what it was like to care for others.
Come in, young mortal. I know why you are here, and I will help you, for I see you have a pure heart despite my grandson's evil nature.
Sometimes help comes from the most unexpected places, and kindness can exist even in the darkest realms.
With ancient magic, the grandmother transformed Lucky into a tiny ant so he could hide when her grandson returned home.
As an ant, Lucky would be safe from the devil's notice and could listen to discover the answers he needed.
The grandmother told Lucky to hide in her white hair and listen carefully when the devil returned from his daily tormenting.
Then the devil himself arrived home, a being of pure evil and terrifying power, tired from his day of spreading misery.
The devil's keen senses immediately detected something unusual, the scent of a living mortal in his domain. Grandmother, I smell human flesh. Is there a mortal here in my home?
But the wise grandmother simply smiled and denied seeing any mortal, reminding the devil how tired he must be. You work so hard tormenting souls, dear grandson. Come rest your head on my lap and let me soothe your tired mind.
Even the devil himself was once a child who needed comfort, and only his grandmother remembered to show him tenderness.
As the devil drifted toward sleep, his grandmother found one of the 3 magical golden hairs growing on his head.
With one swift motion, she plucked the first golden hair.
Ouch! Why did you pull my hair, grandmother?
The clever grandmother pretended she had been startled from a dream, using the opportunity to ask her first question. I'm sorry, dear. I had such a strange dream about a ferryman who rows people across a river endlessly.
Ha! The fool needs only to place the oar in someone else's hand, and they will become the ferryman's stead.
Lucky's ant form heard every word, and he carefully remembered the first answer to bring back to the ferryman.
The grandmother soothed the devil back to sleep, for she still needed 2 more golden hairs and 2 more answers. Patience is often the greatest tool of wisdom, and the grandmother had endless patience from her countless centuries. When the devil was deeply asleep once more, the grandmother searched for the second golden hair among the dark strands.
There, gleaming among the ordinary hairs, shone the second magical golden hair.
Again she pulled, swiftly.
Grandmother, you pulled my hair again.
What is wrong with you tonight? Forgive me. Another strange dream woke me.
This time about a town fountain that once flowed with prosperity.
Foolish mortals! A European green toad has made its nest beneath the fountain spring, blocking the magic flow. Remove the toad.
Lucky carefully remembered the second answer, grateful for the devil grandmother's clever assistance. The devil settled once more, though he grumbled about his grandmother's restless dreams disturbing his peace. The wise grandmother waited even longer this time, ensuring the devil was in his deepest sleep before attempting the final hair.
This was the most dangerous moment, for the devil's suspicion was raised. But the quest required. The third golden hair glowed brightest of all, for it contained the most important.
With all her ancient strength, the grandmother plucked the third and final golden hair.
Enough! What dream could possibly excuse pulling my hair 3 times tonight, grandmother?
This final dream troubles me most, grandson. I dreamed of an orchard that once bore golden apples of life, but...
That orchard. An ancient serpent coils around the tree roots, poisoning them and feeding on the stolen life force. All 3 answers secured. Lucky's impossible quest was nearly complete, but first he needed to escape hell itself. These dreams have tired me further, grandmother. I must return to my duties tormenting souls. As soon as the devil left for his daily work of evil,
The East Asian grandmother
acted quickly to help Lucky escape.
With gentle magic, the ancient grandmother transformed Lucky back to his human form, for he needed human legs to run quickly from hell.
The grandmother gave Lucky the 3 golden hairs, wrapped carefully in cloth blessed with protection magic for his journey home.
Run swiftly, brave boy. Follow the blue flames. They will guide you to the surface. Do not stop until you reach...
Lucky ran as if the devil himself was chasing him, following the grandmother's magical blue flame path through the twisting corridors of hell.
Up and up Lucky climbed, his legs burning with effort, his heart pounding with hope as he saw daylight approaching above.
Every muscle screamed for rest, but Lucky knew stopping meant capture, and capture meant death in the devil's realm.
At last, Lucky burst free from hell's dark into the sunlight of world. Lucky had achieved what no mortal had ever done. Entered hell, obtained the devil's golden hairs.
The 3 golden hairs pulsed with ancient magic, each one a key to solving the mysteries Lucky had encountered on his journey.
Now Lucky began his journey home, carrying not just the golden hairs, but knowledge to help everyone he had met along the way.
Lucky returned first to the orchard estate, where the Lord and his workers desperately awaited any news.
An ancient serpent coils around your tree roots, poisoning them. Find it, destroy it, and within days your golden apples will return.
The workers dug deep and discovered the serpent exactly as Lucky described, ancient and fat from feeding on stolen magic.
Together they destroyed the evil serpent, freeing the trees from its poisonous grip at last.
Almost immediately the magic returned. Flowers bloomed, and within hours, golden apples appeared.
You have restored our fortune and saved our family legacy. Please accept this gold as reward for your wisdom.
Lucky accepted the generous reward and continued homeward, happy to have helped restore the magical orchard.
Next, Lucky returned to the town with the failing fountain, where the people had been waiting hopefully for his return.
A toad has nested beneath your fountain spring, blocking the magical waters. Remove it carefully without harm.
The townspeople carefully removed the ancient toad without harming it, relocating it to a pond where it would be happy.
The moment the toad was freed, the fountain exploded back to life, spraying prosperity water higher than ever before.
You have saved our town's prosperity. Please accept this treasure from our grateful hearts.
Lucky had begun his quest with nothing, and now carried treasure beyond imagination. But his journey had one final stop.
At last, Lucky reached the river crossing, where the cursed ferryman had waited 30 long years for answers.
The secret to your freedom is simple. When you reach the opposite shore, place the oar into someone else's hand before leaving the boat, and...
After 3 decades of endless rowing, the ferryman finally learned the simple secret that would grant him freedom.
Thank you, blessed traveler. But beware! If that evil king tries to follow your path to hell, send him...
The entire court was shocked to see Lucky return alive, for no one had believed the impossible quest could be completed.
Lucky entered the throne room no longer as a poor peasant, but as a hero who had achieved the impossible.
Lucky presented the 3 golden hairs from the devil's head, proof of his incredible journey and courage.
You survived hell itself. Tell me, is there truly treasure in the devil's realm? How can I obtain such wealth?
Indeed, Your Majesty. Hell overflows with treasure. Simply go to the river ferryman, and he will guide you directly to the devil's treasure rooms.
I must have that treasure. Prepare my horse. I go to hell itself to claim the devil's gold!
Thank goodness that foolish king is gone. You have proven your worth beyond any quest, brave Lucky. You have...
In that moment, Princess Elena and Lucky recognized what destiny had known all along. They were meant to find each other.
And so Lucky, the boy born under a lucky star, married Princess Elena.
The miller and his wife, who raised Lucky with love, were honored guests, for they had taught him the kindness that made him worthy of his destiny.
The 3 golden hairs were kept as reminder that courage, cleverness, and kindness can overcome
Meanwhile, the greedy king reached the river ferry, and the moment he grasped the oar to steady himself, the curse transferred to him. The king acts as the new ferryman.
Lucky and Elena ruled with wisdom and kindness, and their kingdom prospered, for they remembered that true treasure is not, and they all lived happily ever after. The end.